right, we're out here at Northern State Hospital, which is now the Northern State Recreation Area. And this is a hospital facility here that was basically built in 1909, opened for full operation in 1913, and closed in the mid-70s. This hospital was to handle the overflow from Western State down south of Seattle. Insidious things happened here. Many insidious things happened here, and this place is notorious for paranormal activity and ghosts. This was originally bought after they closed in the mid-70s. It was bought by Skagit County here in Washington and turned into a giant park. This part was maintained private property and is now run by the U.S. Department of Labor Job Corps and the Army National Guard. There are many interesting things that have happened out here. We brought the equipment out here today to test and see in an actual location if the equipment works. We'll be discussing that equipment here shortly. So, anyway, we're going to go take a walk and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Okay. One of the theories that they have about spiritual energies, entities, exothermic energy, paranormal activities is that water releases a tremendous amount of energy. Electromagnetic energies when it flows. We have 3 creeks that flow through the property out here in this general area out here, producing a tremendous amount of energy. And here's one of them. And yes, they are beautiful to look at as well. Slowly. Okay, we're going to move on to the food processing facility, which is directly adjacent to the creek area here. Okay. Northern State Hospital, when it originally opened, was an 1,100-acre facility. It was completely self-sufficient. They had a 700-acre farm. They had a huge dairy, which we are going to go and take a look at later. They had their own slaughterhouse. They did their own beef, and they canned and bottled their own foods and liquids, which is the area that we're going to go look at right now. This was basically, it was a town. Completely self-sufficient. As you can see, some of these buildings are completely overgrown. This area was added to the facility in 1928. As you can see, like in areas like this, these buildings are completely decrepit and completely collapsing. We're here at the cannery area, the food processing facility, and we're going to be using several pieces of equipment. This is a daytime hunt for paranormal activity. In the nighttime, we can use infrared, where you can see spirit orbs, you can see shadow people. But during daytime investigations, we have 2 pieces of equipment we predominantly use. One is a digital voice recorder. These are extremely sensitive. They pick up even the subtlest little sounds. They're great for EVPs, or electronic voice phenomenon. They will pick up things that our ears cannot hear. Occasionally, we will hear a voice with our own ears. That's a disembodied voice, completely different than electronic voice phenomenon. Those are only picked up using electronic devices. The other piece of equipment that we use is what's referred to as the SP7 Spirit Box. This one is hooked up to a JBL button speaker excellent sound quality, excellent volume. What the SB7 does is it scans the AM and FM radio frequencies through the white noise at a rate of about 1 every quarter of a second. It has been sort of alluded to or discovered that spiritual entities or intelligent entities in a location, such as ghosts and stuff, can communicate directly through white noise on the AM and FM frequencies. They don't know why. I don't think anybody's ever tried to figure out why. Anyway, so we're going to be heading in. We're going to be doing some investigations. Dylan's going to be handling most of the equipment. I will be filming from here on out. All right, you guys, enjoy.
Northern State Hospital, Spirit Box Session 1. All right. Is there anybody here?
Is there anybody here in these buildings that can hear my voice? Some of you may have been here a very, very long time. We have equipment here that you can actually come up and communicate with us if you have something you want to say.
Can you come and say hello? What is your name?
Wood on the ground marking that. If you are here, how many of you are here? Nice.
Thank you.
Can you do that again? Nice.
Thank you.
Can you do that again?
Could you do that one more time?
That was really awesome. You can speak to us. We can hear you.
We're only here to communicate.
We have equipment that can hear you. Can you do more than knock? We heard you hit that pipe.
I thought that was amazing.
I know many of you weren't glad to be here. Many of you probably didn't understand why you were here.
Can you tell us your name?
Okay, well, we're going to keep walking and strolling. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you.
This looks like an old bread pan.
I thought I heard somebody talking, maybe. It could have been my imagination. Did you just smoke? What was this room used for, right here?
Okay, this is the dairy facility. Fully functioning, fully operational dairy in its day. And we're going to be doing a little hunting out here, a little investigating. See if we can pick anything up in any of these buildings. All right, here we go. We're going to do some investigating here in all these old dairy buildings. Here at the Northern State Recreational Area, former Northern State Hospital.
Is there anybody here?
I'm John. This is Dylan. We're out here investigating today. We're out here to see if we can talk to you guys. We have equipment that you can come up and you can actually speak to us with. We'll be able to hear you. I have one in my hand. And Dylan here has one in his hand.
But you can use this one to sound more louder.
Well, we would definitely love to talk to you.
Can you say hello for us?
These buildings are really old. Been here a long time. It's a beautiful place out here. You don't have to be afraid of us.
We're just here to communicate with you.
Feel free to come and talk to us.
Is anybody in here?
It's fascinating that this place hasn't been in operation since the early 1970s, yet there's still cow poop on the planks here in some of these barns.
Yeah.
These decomposing, decrepit old buildings. Did you work out here when this place was open?
Yeah.
These decomposing, decrepit old buildings. Did you work out here when this place was open?
Can you move something in here?
Make a noise, anything, knock on the wood. We really would love to hear from you. Possibly one of your fellow patients banged on some pipes for us over at another location here on the campus.
That really got our attention. Good.
Like I said, this equipment allows us to communicate with you and hear you. We would love to hear from you.
Is anybody in here?
Turn that off a minute, Dylan. Is anybody here? Can you hear my voice? Turn it back up. Okay, we're going to be moving on. You can come talk to us, but we can't hear you. Many of you out here, you were brought here as children, grew up here, and you died out here.
What is your name? What were these used for here? Can you tell me?
Metal on the ground, tagging.
Wood.
We really would like it if you'd come and talk to us. We'd love to hear from you.
That was a phone.
This must have been a really, really fascinating place when it was in operation. Did you guys enjoy working here?
Can you give us some kind of noise? Whoa. Did you say something?
If you did, can you speak again, please?
I felt it vibrate, and that's hopefully a voice feature. Can you bang on this? Can you do this? I can't do it. Wow, I can't even knock on that thing. That thing is solid metal.
Yeah, it makes you wonder about those knocks we got in that other location on the same type of device.
Yeah.
Those were heaters.
Yeah. And I can't even knock on that, and that one was loud. Let's try one more time. If you are here, you don't have to be afraid of us. We're just here to communicate. So, can you say hello?
Okay, concluding EVP session in Old Dairy at Northern State Hospital. Now the current Northern State Recreation Area here in Central Woolley, Washington. Okay, we just came from the dairy farm, which is over there, and we made a trek out here to the slaughterhouse, which is right here. We're on our approach to that, and we'll be doing a little bit of investigating here, possibly doing some hunting, seeing if there's anything here, any voices we may hear.
Get the spirit box out.
It's really, really interesting that, you know, a lot of the local teenagers and high school kids and stuff, and, you know, if it is them or anybody for that matter, disrespects these old buildings like this and does all this kind of graffiti. Very immature and really just generally strange. I don't definitely agree with this. All right. So we're going to start recording. Hi, I'm John.
My name's Dylan.
And we're out here to see if there's anybody here who wants to talk to us. We have equipment that we can actually hear you. So,
Can you say hello for us?
we got writing on the wall here. It says, listen for them, they're here. Get out now. Feel their pain.
Which we're not going to do. We're not going to get out.
Take me home. Take me home. Are you not happy to be here? Can you hear us? Is there anybody here?
Can you give us a noise? Can you bang on something or move something? Can you repeat this? Can you repeat this?
Old toilet and old pipes that were here.
There's a take me home you showed me. Don't trust them.
This is some kind of an ash hatch location inside. We're not exactly sure what it was really used for. There's more graffiti here that wasn't here the last time we were here.
Was somebody here?
We got deer trails and all kinds of animal trails through these areas.
Old pipes. there anybody here? You don't have to be afraid of us. We're just here to communicate.
We would definitely love to hear from you. Dylan, why don't you shut that off? Why don't we kill the SB7? We'll just do the digital recorder for a couple minutes. See if we can get any EVPs. Well, thank you for visiting with us, and if you have any last things you'd like to say to us before we leave, we would love to hear it.
Let me do something. Can you repeat this? I was wondering if we could get intelligent.
Well, okay, we're gonna go now. You guys be at peace, okay?
Yep.
Okay, we just left the slaughterhouse and we're making our way up to one of the old barns here on the campus property. Again, as I said before, this was an 1,100 acre facility. As you can see, the property, this is just the back part of the property. Faintly way over here off in the horizon is a giant smokestack. That was part of the original crematorium. It's actually connected with the original campus, which is far over, probably about a quarter mile to a half mile from us in the direction that I'm looking right now.
I think that's a little slanted up, maybe, or maybe it captured it. Hopefully.
Again, looking in the direction of the old campus out there. This is in the old barn facility. We're not going to use the spirit box here.
Okay.
We're just going to do a straight EVP. See if we can actually pick anything up with the high definition microphone on the GoPro camera. Recording EVP session, old barn.
Is there anybody here?
It's an amazing old barn. Interesting the way this was built. Definitely from around turn of the century. Is anybody here that used to live here at the Northern State Hospital? Love to have you come talk to us. I'm holding a device that you can actually communicate with us with.
It'll help us hear you. Can you say hello to us? What's your name? Can you make a noise for us? Or move something in here? Like a piece of wood? Not hearing anything.
No, it's not necessarily, Dylan. It's always, not the case that we don't always get something.
Yes.
So, well, we'll be concluding this part of the hunt and our exploration here at the old barn. We're going to be moving on to the next chapter that you will see is we're going to move on to the cemetery which has quite an interesting and extensive history, which we'll talk about once we get there. Okay, we'll see you guys there. Okay. We're here at the Northern State Hospital Cemetery, and where 1,487 patients were interred on this property here. This field used to be comprised of hundreds and hundreds of concrete grave markers, but basically due to callous negligence and just a complete disregard for the dead and the people that were here before, a lot of the concrete markers were actually pulled up in some of the original bricks, and they were found on local farms and stacked up along the fences. As unfortunately, most of this, there's no way to tell who was buried here and who died here. And you know, if that can lead to restless spirits. And
all right, well, let's get started.
All right, so we're gonna get started. Is there anybody here? I'm John. This is Dylan.
Hello.
And we came to visit you guys today. And if you want to talk to us, you can. If you want anything the world to know, if you want anything that you got to say it, because we will be able to hear you.
Just come to this antenna and speak. This will help us hear you. If you're here, can you tell us your name? Can you say it for me? I heard like voices coming through it. Did you just spoke to us? I heard you.
Some radio interference. Here's several of the markers here.
Found one over here.
Yes. There were markers all over this. Every one was marked at one time.
Were you a patient at the hospital that we were just at earlier? It's interesting how these things are all here, and yet they are not being cleaned, which is what I'm doing.
Well, we would love to hear from you. Shut. Go ahead and close that off.
Do you see this device sit in my dad's hand? You can speak into that and let us know anything.
Tag that car door.
Yes. Some of the fellow patients over at the hospital gave our attention to them. To be honest, I can only imagine what it was like being there.
You know, I've read the stories and documentation about how you guys had to build your own coffins. And some of them were so loosely built that you could see light through the cracks. And those that were cremated were stored in tin cans with numbers on them on the shelves and tool sheds and at the morgue at the old hospital. I don't think that's really cool myself. I think that's a little disrespectful.
Me too.
The only religion that was recognized at the hospital was the Catholic religion, and they were the only ones that, if you weren't Catholic, you didn't get a funeral. The people that are buried in this field were people that died and no one, friends or family or no one came and claimed them. So we may never know who's buried here.